What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass, like and subscribe. So, this is an addendum, obviously, of course. There's always addendums. This is an addendum to the yesterday's video about, not all three sections, but about the Stadia closing. The Stadia closing down. So basically, it's so I've been watching videos about other content creators talking about, Stadia closed down because of this. Stadia closed down because I was listening to Kind of Funny Games Daily, and they were talking about, Stadia closed down because they didn't have the first party support, and they closed all their studios and this and that and the third, right? And I was like, nope. I was like, how are these fools? This is what they do. This is their job, is to be talking heads in the video game industry. And you figure, what they say is true. Yeah, sure. Now, to an extent, yes. But that's not why Stadia failed. Stadia failed only because of, I said this yesterday in the last video, because of their business model. It sucked. It was horrible. It was the worst business model ever. And, I said that before, and people were like, whatever. Whatever. But the thing is this. I was listening to Game Mess Mornings with Jeff Grubb, and Jan Ochoa was the guest on it, right? And so here's the thing, firsthand, this man, Jeff Grubb, he's one of my new favorite talking heads as far as video games go, because he has connections, and what he says usually is pretty close, and he's good, right? So he said that when Google Stadia, just before Google Stadia was to release, that Google, invited a bunch of journalists and such, and this was before he was with Giant Bomb, right? Obviously. And they invited all these journalists up to preview Google Stadia. What's this Google Stadia? What are you guys doing? Yeah, come on and see what we got. We're gonna show you the stuff, right? So they did it, right? And then they explained how it all works, blah, 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 and they explained the business model. And Jeff Grubb and a lot of other people were saying, yeah, this is nobody's gonna want to buy this. Nobody's gonna want to buy full price games and not own the game, just stream it. This is not gonna work. And Google is so, I guess, pretentious. I don't know what they are, but they were like, they were comparing themselves to Steam, like, people go on Steam and buy the games and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's not the same. There was some kind of comparison there where they used Steam as a comparison to what their business model was, and I was like, nah, they can't. It's amazing to me that these companies, now Google, can't see what's in front of their face. They can't see that that's not a good deal. And this ties back into what I was talking about last video, as far as classist type of attitudes and such. And, tie it right back to Sony and how they're behaving this generation. Now, I know it's whatever, it's speculation, it's not even hearsay, it's just like, whatever, this is what it seems like, right? But explain to me how, if that's not a part of it, what is the motivation for Sony to do it this way? I know, making the money, right? Sure. But discarding all of the other avenues of revenue, even though it may be pennies on the dollar versus dollars on the 100 or whatever, you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. It's so weird that Kind of Funny got it so wrong, right? And I'm glad I listened to Kind of Funny, and then I listened to Jeff Grubb's The Game Mess. He explained how he saw it with a bunch of journalists, and they were all saying the same thing. This is a bad idea, And Google was oblivious to the fact that they were going to fail straight out the gate. And it wasn't because they didn't have first party games. That definitely helped in their quick demise, but their business model sucked. You cannot charge full price for a game and not even have the digital copy available for the person to play offline. That makes no sense. And I'm like, how are you going to charge full price for a game and not give the game? That doesn't, I mean, just not logistically, but I mean, of course, it's easy, right? But how is that even? And that's Google. They have servers. How? I still don't understand how that's a good idea, how that's a good plan. I still don't understand the type of person who would think that that's a good plan. And that's where I go back to rich people don't understand what the value of a dollar is. They know that they want to collect all the dollars, but they don't understand that $10 more for your games, while is not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. It's more about the principality, Smokey. It's really about, how are you looking to the people who are not able to just easily give to. Look, if you want to buy a game, you'll find a way to get an extra $10. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But when you put all of these things together, when you say Sony charging more for the console, charging more for the games, literally making these crazy arbitrary rules so that you can be the top tier in PlayStation stars. That's the way you can get better customers. So okay, we're not doing that, but I'm just saying the whole thing about Stadia, Google Stadia, and it failing, and these content creators out there. It was Blessing and it was Tim. I think they were on that show in particular. And I was like, how are y'all so wrong? I'm not even like a super journalist, or I'm not a journalist at all. But I'm nobody. I'm a nobody in this field of games and stuff. I'm just a little guy, doing this as fun, right? They know. I mean, if there are ads, I'm not getting paid. Let's just put it that way, okay? So if there are ads, I might skip them. Skip all the ads. That's right. Come on, Google, come get me. Come on, YouTube, come and get me. Well, although once I get, once I start monetizing them, I'm gonna have to watch that. I'm just kidding. But it doesn't feel right. And like, I'm wondering right now, what other companies out there are like this, like Google, like Sony, who don't have an idea, who have little idea of what that perception is, or don't care, or they don't understand that, oh, that's a bad look. You shouldn't do that. Even though it'll yield you 1.5% more profit in the end of the books, and that's all you care about, and you don't care about how it looks, that's a bad look. Because if you offer a service that is worthwhile, and you're a company that is seen as a company that is for the people, good guy, if you will, then more people will want to be a part of your ecosystem. More people will want to sign up for PlayStation Plus because, Sony, they're the best. They always take care of their customers. They do the right thing when they got customers first. Yeah, I just lied. That's not what it is. That's the exact opposite. The only thing that's keeping Sony alive, I said this before, the only thing that's keeping people going to PlayStation and buying PlayStations are those exclusives. Everything else is pushing them away. But they're taking the medicine. They're saying, well, you know what? The games are good, so I'm going to stick around. And Google couldn't even get there because they didn't have any games. Because they closed up all their studios because they're like, what I also thought? I was like, okay, they pulled out, they stopped first party production, right, on their games. Then I was like, okay, is this like a tax write-off or something for them? Because, Google got a lot of money, right? So maybe they were like, hey, let's try this video game stuff real quick. But we don't want to put too much money in it because, but let's do a little something because this money's just going to get, they're just going to take it. Just going to take the money. I mean, just going to take the money, so let's do some money, right? And so this is what they did. I think that might be it. You ever watch The movie The Producers? I only saw the new version. I tried to watch the old version. I was like, I can't. I mean, I love Gene Wilder, but I can't watch this. I don't know what it was. I couldn't do it. Anyway, but that movie is about them making the worst play in the world in order to get like a tax write-off, basically, for the play. So it had to fail. Financially, it had to fail in order for them to, for it to be successful for them. And that sounds like what Stadia was. It was just like a tax write-off, like whatever. Now I wonder like what parts of Sony and Microsoft are that too. Well, actually, I think it's different for Microsoft, at least, because what they're doing is they're buying, they're using their money. The whole thing about the tax write-off thing, but also these companies using their money is that, well, the companies who have money use their money, not borrowing the money. But like Microsoft has a lot of cash on hand, and if they don't use it, it's gonna start to be worth less and less, and that's the whole point of it. As inflation changes and all that stuff, if they don't use it now, and say if they use it a year from now and it's worth less, then they get less for their dollars, and that's the whole point. That's the whole kind of thinking behind them buying, Activision Blizzard, or buying whatever else they're gonna buy. And I have no problem with that. If they got the money to do it, then let them do it. That's part of business. And all these fanboys crying about Microsoft making moves, that's a whole nother video. But I appreciate you guys showing up again. Once again, yell at these journalists who are trying to act like they know what they're talking about, and they're ignoring the fact that Jeff Grubb, he's the don't listen to nobody else, just listen to Jeff Grubb. He's the truth. And he did the thing. It was cool. That's a good show. Listen, if y'all ain't listening to a Jeff Grubb morning gaming mess, morning gaming mess, something like that. I think it's morning gaming mess with Jeff Grubb. It's just a news. It's like a news hour basically, and he always has a guest, and it's cool. It's good. It's good stuff. I'm plugging them, but I ain't getting no money. It's not paid promotion. I'm just saying, if you guys want to hear the truth and nothing that's like kind of a little bit of maybe leaning towards the blue side or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Even leaning towards green. Jeff Grubb is just like, I don't care, I'm just talking, spit the news out, but I do it. That's Jeff Grubb. He's cool, I like him. Anyway, appreciate y'all hanging out. So, like and subscribe. And I'll catch y'all on the next one.